They have an innovative system where they are doing in situ concreting. So the slab, column, and beam are technically cast. ये precastable joints are cast iron. My home experience company, they quoted this for supply precast
जैसे अभी चल रही है यहाँ पे अब लोहार काटता है बांधता है
पंपिंग करते हैं उसके ऊपर इस तरह से शॉर्ट लीड plastic with short lead is with pressure. Very different. We have different textures. So this is for exterior, long-term durable, radios. We have specified products related to it.
We are having insulation, so the summer will state the R value is 5 times better than what you could get in Kashyap. It's a very fast construction.
Shri Sanjay, Seth, Dr. V.K.Paul, Director, School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. Shri Sanjay, Kulshrestha, Chairman and Managing Director, Housing and Urban Development, Corporation HUDCO. Shri Kuldip, Narayan, Joint Secretary, HFA, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. We shall be beginning with Shri Kuldip Narayan. Shri Sanjay Kulshrestha, Chairman and Managing Director, Housing and Urban Development Corporation, HUDCO. Dr. V.K.Paul, Director, School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. Major General Dr. Ashok Kumar, VSM. Shri Sanjay, Seth, Senior Director, TERI and Vice President and CEO, GRIHA Council.
Galaxy experts here, including units, policy makers. We have our joint secretary and mission director, who is leading from the front the largest affordable housing scheme, which is called Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban, which is Kuldip Narayan. Then we have CMD HUDCO. All of you know about the Housing and Urban Development Corporation, one of the leading organizations dealing with finances and techno-financial aspects of housing, Sanjay Kulshrestha. We also have and Director General of NICMAR. They have recently opened, all of us know about NICMAR, it is from Pune. They have recently opened a center in Delhi, the outskirts of Delhi, and they deal with construction management. We also have Professor Paul, V.K.Paul, a very dear friend of mine, Director of School of Planning and Architecture. Then we also have Sanjay, who is Vice President the Energy and Resources Institute and CEO of GRIHA. I extend very warm welcome to all of you, sir, and also to all the participants who have gathered from all the parts of the country. Sir, there are around 24 companies who are participating in the exposition, which was just inaugurated, and I urge all of you to go and visit the innovative products being showcased and interact with those technology providers and manufacturers and try to use them in your future projects. Also, sir, we have around 300 registered delegates, participants who are not only from public and private agencies, but also from research laboratories, academic institutions, and all of them will be presenting papers. Also, there will be series of company presentations vehicles so that you will get ample time to interact with all of them. Please make use of all these, this 2 days event and interact with the people and try to find out how can we make history. Because since there are a whole lot of speakers here, I will very briefly tell you why all of a sudden we require, we want to bring paradigm shift in the construction sector, or we want to transform the construction sector. The business as usual approach, all of you know the conventional construction practices. We make walls brick by brick, or we do cast in situ, RCC construction. And these constructions are not sustainable, or time overrun, cost overrun, a lot of waste, dust pollution, air pollution. And the way, we were talking to our JS, and he was telling me that no exhibitor talked about energy efficiency. So energy efficiency, decarbonization of built environment, all of a sudden these things have gained importance. So whatever we do, we need to incorporate life cycle costs, embodied carbon, waste minimization, fast track construction, and other things. And that is why we need to transform the construction sector. We need to think beyond conventional construction practices and deploy other innovative practices. So just very briefly, let me tell you, there is no need to make a wall brick by brick. You can just get a wall, customized wall as per your choice, as per your uses, and just it's like a do-it-yourself kind of kit. You can just install a wall within no time. There are something called off-site construction, where why to make walls, beam, columns, slabs at the site. You can get them made or get them manufactured in the factory or in a casting yard. All you have to do is transport them to the site and assemble them. Believe me, there are companies in our country who are making kind of houses, plug and play houses. You can create the entire house 80% up to 80%, and just on the foundation connect it with the services that your house is ready. I'm so pleased there is one person from Home Mission. They are thinking of delivering a house to you. You can just submit your plan to them. So the kind of innovations taking place in the construction sector, you can just imagine. And the need is because we need to bring in resource efficiency, we need to bring climate resilience, we need to bring eco-friendliness and energy efficiency. And there's another aspect which is the health of the occupant. Normally we talk about air quality, outside air quality, but what about the inside air quality? Right now we are sitting in this room, the inside air quality is much more appreciated than the outside air quality. So there are technologies, there are materials which help us improve the inside air quality as well. So these kind of innovations are taking place, and Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs is front runner in this area. We through Pradhan Yojana, we are running a technology submission. I think JS will talk about it to you, so I'm not going into the details. But upfront, we have created a basket of innovative materials and technologies, and we have been promoting them through demonstration construction and also through Pradhan Yojana. So I will not go more in detail. Once again, I welcome all of you. In case you require anything, please let me know, or there are a couple of my associates who will help you out in case you have any difficulty. And hope you will enjoy your 2 days stay in Delhi. Thank you very much.
So it's termed as the hard to abate sector. Yet we are trying to see that what alternatives could be provided if we have to really look at decarbonizing this sector. And globally, if we see about 40% of the emissions, and plus if you look at the embodied as well, it goes up to nearly 80%. So all of those things, I think, is an alarm bell for all of us. At the national level, we are all aspiring to, we are looking at the various intermediary benchmarks, 2047 being a benchmark year where we are looking at being Viksit Bharat, a developed country, post 100 years of our independence. It is a prime opportunity to showcase sustainable and resilient national development. And in the context of the global settings, 2030 agenda, which is the sustainable development goals, around the sustainable development goal, is around the corner, where we are going to evaluate as to how we are really moving ahead. And if you look at the construction and building sector, 2050 is again a benchmark here when we are looking at becoming a net zero to also decarbonize the construction and building sector. Now, with all of this, I think integrating green practices into construction processes is very important, which will help us to reduce our operational costs, GHG emissions, and improve resource efficiency of the buildings. It's also a time when we should know that now with the establishment of the carbon markets, we are all talking of carbon numbers, and that becomes very important if you really want to look at the decarbonizing to happen in this sector. Embodied carbon in buildings and the use of materials such as cement, steel, aluminium, these are the hard to abate sectors, and how do we look at obviating these is important. These are the largest sources of carbon emitters in the industry due to high embodied energy consumed both in production and deployment of these materials. While these materials remain indispensable for now, there should be an increased focus on researching alternative building materials and technologies, and that is what BMTPC's efforts are, as well as looking at decarbonizing the current material manufacturing processes. The initial stages of planning and design should derive judicious decisions. How can we make it lean and mean? By integrating low impact building materials and techniques to reduce embodied and operational carbon emissions. The construction and building sector is now moving towards a sustainable transition that promotes the adoption of eco-friendly building materials and green building practices. I'm also happy to let you all know that recently the Ministry of Power and TERI, we have come together and we've signed an MOU to establish a Center of Energy Transition in Hyderabad, which looks at decarbonizing all sectors of our economy if we are wanting to transit towards cleaner sources. So this is something which we are now going to do, and there is going to be research carried out across all segments of the economy. Historically, India has a vast experience of traditional knowledge and access to indigenous materials, technologies, and construction practices that are inherently resource efficient and environment friendly. We need to look at integrating ancient wisdom with modern practices to promote new innovative green building materials and technologies for a low carbon future. India in its NDCs at COP21 highlighted also the GRIHA as an indigenous green building rating system which has been developed for the country. And as part of the mitigation strategy, the environmental impact of GRIHA rated projects in terms of energy and water consumption, renewable energy, installed capacities, and other impact data of the rated projects under the GRIHA rating variants are shared by GRIHA Council with the Government of India to showcase in the biennial reports that are submitted to the United Nations Framework for Climate Change Convention by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Our GRIHA rating variants promote the use of locally available materials in the construction processes and encourage innovation to cultivate local retrofit solutions within the building sector, thereby contributing to a holistic and region-specific approach to retrofitting and innovation. It's also important to integrate the aspects and the concepts of life cycle cost assessment and life cycle costing, which reduce the impact of material selection on the environment and encourage the project to optimize resource consumption. This will help us in evaluating preemptive mitigation strategies to optimize the overall impact of a building's design by aiding in material and equipment selection. These concepts, although are important, but they are at our nascent stages and we need to integrate them and scale it up to the desired levels if we really want to see impacts happening. Strong emphasis on switching to alternate materials such as recycled, naturally occurring renewable materials can encourage responsible consumption behaviors and boost the circular economy when combined with life cycle assessment. We developed the GRIHA catalog where we list out efficient and sustainable building materials for building urban practitioners to benefit from it. At the same time, I'm very pleased to inform you that the Mahindra and the industry and TERI together came and we established what we call the Mahindra TERI Center of Excellence for creating and putting out information out in the open source for urban practitioners to benefit from the thermal properties of information on thermal properties and performance of building materials if you really want to take this to the scales that one is desiring. Catalogs and information such as these bridge the gap between the buyers and sellers. It's very important that we provide information and provide easy and feasible options to the users, because they eventually are the people who decide, and informed decision making helps them to decarbonize the sector. Also on the aspects of urban heat island, because of the urbanization that is taking place, I think there is a lot of work that we need to do. How do we not only look at the building level, but also look at the precinct level, and through a scientific approach. And TERI and GRIHA both are working a lot on all of these areas, so that we can bring down the temperatures, make things more comfortable for people to be living out of these complexes that have been developed. I am also pleased to see that NICMAR is represented here. GRIHA Council has entered into an agreement there. We have an MOU where we work together towards sustainable development in the future, creating a critical mass of people which are required if you really want this sector to be driven up. And alone, whether it's government or think tanks or academic institutions, nothing will really be able to, we cannot find solutions all by ourselves. It's partnerships, I think that is very important. And the key to all of this, if you see, is forging partnerships with industry, academia. Of course, the government provides the overarching framework. That becomes the key if you really want the transitions to happen towards a low carbon economy. So I, at the end, would like to thank BMTPC and also all the participants, with all the other industry partners who have come together for participating in this very important conference, and hope that we have meaningful deliberations. Thank you very much.
Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, I'm really pleased to be here and thank BMTPC and Dr. Agrawal for this opportunity. Coming from NICMAR group of institutions, we have 2 universities in Hyderabad and Pune and a campus in Delhi, contribute quite significantly into this particular sector. And just for time detention of Honorable Joint Secretary, that sir, we are the one who produce the skill for infrastructure sector, which are needed, and these are needed to realize the dream vision of the central government and Honorable Prime Minister as well in terms of infrastructure pipeline. And this is where are all the students coming out of the campus, about 1,500 every year, they get absorbed and they are now part of nation building. And I'm really proud of being part of that organization. Coming back to the topic of innovative building materials and construction, let me start giving some fast facts just to create or realize the importance of this particular topic and the discussion and 2 days workfully we all will be spending here. Globally, if we look at the building and construction sector, it contributes about 11 to 13% of the global GDP. That is the kind of importance this particular sector holds. If we look at the overall market share and the growth, the global construction market is expected to reach about $15 trillion by 2030, which is driven by urbanization, infrastructure development, and technological advancement. In terms of the wealth, and we all are part of the construction built environment sector, in terms of the wealth, real estate and built environment sector represent more than 50% of the global wealth. So we are very close to the kind of assets we are interacting with, and we are actually living them in all day in and out. Also, coming from the Dr. Seth's inaugural address about some of the environmental consequences of all this, and not all is rosy, but this is the fact that 40% of the global CO2 emissions are contributed by this sector alone, which is quite significant, and it is an area of concern as well, and how we can reduce by innovative materials and technologies. That will be a task to be accomplished, and we will deliberate over next 2 days. Also, in terms of market opportunities, these sustainable practices and innovative construction materials and technologies which are displayed outside in the exhibition area are likely to unlock an estimated value of 1.8 trillion market opportunity, $1 trillion market opportunities in very recent future. And finally, about Indian construction industry is also quite growing fast, and it is going to reach about 1.4 trillion US dollar by end of this year, which is sort of, we are talking about 5 trillion economy, and that is a significant contribution in terms of its share as far as this particular sector is concerned, and that is the reason that we are really fortunate to be having this discussion, and also coming from the national government agenda as well, with the infrastructure pipeline and the kind of the mission of the national government achieving developed nations status by 2047. We all will be in some way or another part of this nation building and making India a developed country by 2047, and that is really a proud moment for everybody. Coming back to the topics of innovative materials and technologies, you all know and have experienced and seen that there are a number of innovations are going on which are in practice or in various stages of implementation. And some of these are very well known in terms of carbon-cum-concrete, which is lower carbon emission. Also, there are some innovative materials in terms of self-healing concrete, which are developed by all the university researchers, and number of colleagues from other universities are here as well as part of the deliberations. There are number of biophilic design and some of the materials which are inspired by the nature are also coming in practice as well, and we should be looking in all those directions in order to get inspiration and reduce the carbon footprint, the cost and the innovation, as well as we look at the environmental friendly nature of it. Looking at the future directions of technologies and innovations, lots of smart buildings everybody is seeing around. We have got now in our build form, build space as well, we go to a number of these buildings, even Dr. Seth's campus in Gwalwadi is also one of the innovative construction, and which was done long time ago when I was even a student that time in School of Planning and Architecture. We did visit that building was opened at that point in time. Also CII building in Hyderabad, which is also rated, and there are a number of other rated buildings, and this statistics is growing day by day and month by month and year by year, and we are really making good progress in terms of these utilization of these technologies into our building construction. And it all helps into either energy saving or water saving or some other aspects of comfort and living and working environment within those buildings. In terms of construction technologies, things like 3D printing, you all hear these days, coming in of the 3D printings, and the volumetry construction, Vijayji is here as well. These are new things. These can actually really can be scaled in terms of bringing mass production, and that's where I will be looking at joint secretaries as well, that see the housing for all. We are having this mission, housing for all, and we need to really use these technologies in order to speed up the construction, speed up the delivery, and that is where the conventional method may not be that prudent to continue, but these new methods will be really really helpful. With all those innovations in building materials and technologies, it is not only the speed and the construction, it will be the environmental responsibility and responsiveness of this entire sector will be displayed. And we would like to be, leading in terms of contributing towards sustainable future and sustainable construction for the country, and we set an example. And institutions like NICMAR and collaborating with GRIHA and some of the rating agencies, I think these are some steps, positive steps in future to address some of those problems, and also train our future manpower in terms of thinking in these directions, and also then practicing when they come on board as professionals. So with all of these sort of insights, I again would like to thank BMTPC for organizing this wonderful 2-day very interesting session, and I'm sure everybody would go benefited by all the deliberations and discussions, and try and implement those things in their day-to-day life as well as in their profession. Thank you very much.
Would it ever outpace that? Is a question. That's not my subject, or I don't have the data to say that. But my prima facie gut feeling is that a lot needs to be done. अब वो ये नहीं हो सकता कि वो एक अलग नैरेटिव हो और ये अलग नैरेटिव हो, दोनों नैरेटिव कहीं ना कहीं सिनर्जाइज होते हैं, क्योंकि दोनों में कॉमन वर्ड जो है वो सस्टेनेबिलिटी है. And when we have to fight for this, our preferences are the luxuries, the kind of flamboyance in space use, flamboyance in developing the infrastructure. And it's something we need to think about that. And these decisions we all take one way or the other. When I get involved in these issues as somebody from construction management, I think there is something to think about that. Thank you very much. आपने समय दिया, मौका दिया, अंदर से बोलने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. मैं क्षमा चाहूँगा, मैं तो थोड़ा आगे निकलना पड़ेगा. I'll take leave. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. As being introduced, I am Major Ashok Kumar. I come from the army. I retired, and when I was looking after the infrastructure of the entire armed forces, that includes the Army, Navy and Air Force. It's an honor that the Joint Secretary MOA is here, and Mr. Shailesh who's been looking after new building materials and technologies, is something very amazing. And the dignitaries on the dais are rich in their own knowledge. They've said enough. But few points that I need to discuss and tell you all as to how we, all of us, are responsible for what we do today and how the future must pan out. Everyone has been talking about sustainability and sustainability. I am not sure as to how is it going to happen unless we involve ourselves, each one of us. And I want to ask the first question for the people who belong to this particular area, that is the India Habitat Center, as to how many of us who have their offices here, when they have come here to this hall, have switched off their lights or their air conditioners. The amount of energy that we use while it is not required is something which is very, very phenomenal. First, our forefathers made houses which were made of mud, mortar. They came with bricks, and the mortar that they used
was mud itself. And I have seen in my lifetime, in my village, as to how it was being done. And now it is concrete and just the concrete. While we have new materials coming in, we have new technologies which are there. There are people who are looking after the green part of it. There are people who are doing a lot of research into how the material should be. There are people who are deciding as to how these structures must breathe. And somebody talked about the health of the people who stay inside. So are we really in that world? The question remains. And let's all ponder how we need to do it. What we are making today is not for us, but it is for our generation, their children, their grandchildren, and their grandchildren. And the time is not far when 40 years from now, or maybe 50 years from now, when my grandchildren will ask me, ki Dadaji, ye aapne kya kiya? So there is something that we need to look into. I am not saying that whatever we are doing, I am part of it, is not correct. But somewhere we need to introspect ourselves and see that every bit that we do must be in the line that we all talk about. There is more about new technologies. There are professors from IITs who are sitting here doing a lot of research. There are government bodies who are looking into as to how we must make our infrastructure in the future. There are metro cities coming up, there are railways, there are metros, and so on and so forth. There are tall skyscrapers which are nothing but full of glass, and the amount of heat that we generate inside is something that we all need to look into. I thought I must just give you a retrospection of what we are doing. Not that we are not doing well, India is doing exceedingly well. The country is phenomenal. I admire the worth of the country when 1.4 billion people get their bread, their newspaper, and the way we manage things. I don't think anybody else can manage across the world. A simple example that I can think of, in spite of whatever infrastructure we have, a place like Chandni Chowk, you have your Mercedes car, you go there, you have a guy who's not known as to who he is. He comes, takes your chabi, and leave your car there. And when you come back, your car is lying in the corner and you don't know how is it going to come out. There is no computer with this guy. All that he does is, he goes there, he pushes 2 cars up and pulls out 2 cars down, and your Mercedes is right bang on the road, which no other computer in the world can do it. So this is something which is very, very phenomenal, and I admire my country for this. And I've been across the world, there is nothing better than this. Everyone that we talk about sustainability is okay, and there is nothing to worry about कि हमको इतने सालों के बाद ये नहीं मिलेगा, पानी खत्म हो जाएगा. Yes, there are going to be problems, but we are here to resolve. And let me assure you, there is no planet B other than the earth that we have. So we have to be here, we have to hold ground, and we have to sustain ourselves. There is a foreign author who's talked about donut economy, and very well this author has said as to what this donut economy is all about. This donut that we all eat, so there is this, the solid part which is there, there is a whole blank inside, and there is a boundary outside the donut. So we have to sustain within these boundaries. So what is happening is, within the donut, we are trying to dig the mother earth, we are taking out water, we are taking out the earth, we are taking out minerals, and we are going berserk in how we are managing these. While there are advantages of what we do, but it is associated with the businesses of the people. Everyone wants to grow rich. We need to reach 5 trillion economy, and 10 trillion economy is all fine. But someday this will come to an end. So the better we use it, I'm not saying no, let's not use it. All of us need to use it. So we must use it as much as we want. So there has to be a difference between the need versus the want. While we have a house of 11 feet by 12 feet, there are people who are staying there. But we have a house where the room sizes are 20 feet by 20 feet. Yet there are people staying in this. There is this body of people who are also surviving. There is this body of people who is surviving, but he or she wants more and more, including people like us who are sitting here. So we have to decide as to how much do we need, and we need not run for the wants. So I leave it up to there, but I'm sure the day is not far when we shall achieve what we want. It's a wonderful forum to be here to talk about new technologies. And let me assure Dr. Shailesh that the targets of the lighthouse projects that they had given us few years back, we in the defense forces had done all of them, and it has wonderfully come up very well. And let me also assure you about sustainability, that we have a body called the Military Engineer Services. Lately, we are doing a building wherein we are extracting energy from the earth, geothermal method, where the warm portion of the energy is being pumped and we are cooling our systems. So within this month end, I'm sure it will become a success. There is a similar type of geothermal experiment which is on at the Leh airport. If any one of you have been there, sometime later you will find that the entire Leh airport shall be cooled or heated by the geothermal energy that is being extracted. And the depth that these people have gone in is almost about 250 meters. These are the kind of things that are happening in India, and I'm sure with people like us sitting here, all of you shall make it happen very soon. At the end, I just want to leave 3 questions behind, that whatever we do, we need to do it for the future. And if not us, who? If not now, when? And if not here, where? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was absolutely remarkable. Your thoughts were outstanding. Next, may I please invite Shri Sanjay Kulshrestha, Chairman and Managing Director, Housing and Urban Development Corporation, HUDCO. Welcome, sir.
Very good morning. Very esteemed panel on the dais and very vibrant audience. Thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to look at various initiatives, various innovatives that the industry is going on. So it is a learning from me, and I think a well-crafted exhibition that BMTPC has arranged. So my best wishes to Dr. Agrawal. I had heard from the esteemed panel, learned panel, from academicians, from the forces, the consultancy side. So I will take all these things noted for my future references. My background is from the energy side and working as a lender, as a financial institution from decades. So my only request while innovating the technology is to look at the cost and the financial viability, because that is the only thing which makes our assets, which is required for the Viksit Bharat. And Government of India is fully known of this fact, and a lot of initiatives have been taken, and recently like Urban Challenge Fund was introduced. So when I talk about the financial viability and the sustainability, I think the management of the resources takes the central stage. It may be the water management or resource, land management or air management, waste management, land management, financial management. So all these put together requires a lot of innovations, and I agree with General Saab that we had already gone a way ahead, and a lot of things the country had together achieved in terms of the innovative technology. Center of excellences are already there. A lot of startups we are doing. I think it is the responsibility of the companies like HUDCO to take care of the sector, because we are a lender, we are a consultant, and we are also into the capacity building. So I assure the fraternity that as a responsible PSU of Government of India, we will be taking care, and whatever comes to us, be it the rental housing ideas or be it the innovative technology absorption, we are also working it out with several states and our administrative ministry. The government has started now coming out with the idea of Honorable Prime Minister that the 3R, reduce, reuse and recycle. So everything is there, and let us start adopting and coming out of the silos, because a lot of things we are doing which may not be migrated towards the major causes, as we understand that around 70% households are self-constructed. And this kind of technology has to be reached to that extent, then only it is actually the succession that we will be giving to our generation. So I will not take a lot of time, so I will hear from the audience. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, sir. May I please invite on stage Shri Kuldip Narayan, Joint Secretary, HFA, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. BMTPC, Shailesh Agrawal, our colleagues, Kulshrestha, Seth, Paul, Kashyap, Ashok, friends sitting in audience. What we are talking today is something that concerns all of us, all our children and grandchildren. First of all, I congratulate Shailesh Agrawal for organizing this conference and expo, where we will be discussing today and tomorrow on various topics of innovative construction technologies and having some of the such technologies in expo also. There will be a lot of talk on innovation, how technology is changing. I will try not to go in that part, but try to highlight few things which concern me, you and everyone as layperson. Technically, yes, UNEP report says that approximately 35% from building sector, some during the construction, some during the operation. But as I was going through the exhibition in the morning, one thing that worried me. Everyone was talking about speed, new material, fast construction, but rarely I heard something, it is sustainable. So that is something what worries me, and it is, I think, Ashok ji spoke before me, forgive me if I am wrong, but how much do you need and how much, or rather, Kashyap ji was speaking, how much do you need and how much we are having. Problem of plenty sometimes becomes problem, and this is not only in building construction, this is not only here, but it is a consumerism that is all pervasive in our economy. Even in places where you can't get clean one glass of water, bottle of Coca-Cola may be present or Pepsi, not to side with any of them or any other such product. What I am concerned that in economy, innovation survives only if it is supported by economic factors. When it is supported by demand from those who will be using it. And here, our concern is the person who is either getting his house constructed, directly or indirectly, or he is purchasing a house or some built space from it. Someone spoke about it. Paulji was saying, why in Himachal someone should be removing bamboo and going for concrete. It's today, in fact, most of the innovation is also happening in concrete and wall paneling and such things. While we may be having naturally occurring material which may be as useful for that purpose. If I want to have a shirt, I don't need it to be having strength of steel. It should have a strength of fabric. So if I am constructing a house, I should be concerned about 2-3 things. Its durability, its usability, and sustainability of the material. But unfortunately, that sustainability of the material will get replaced by cost of the material. So, real systemic thing that affects us can be ensure that more innovative and more sustainable material is also more economic, so that everyone will be using that rather than something else. And in this building sector, in my view, it is like medicine. Why? How many of us know the energy efficiency of the house we are living in actually? How many of us know the efficiency of medicine that we are taking? Like the medicine is decided by the doctor, the pharma company, and availability of such medicines. Same way, building construction technology is also decided by the stakeholders like architects, developers, and technology providers who are providing building technology. Although the ultimate consumer may be the person, the family who is going to live in that house or sit in that office, he has no say, or he may not have that understanding what is more sustainable, what is better for my next generation. So here I have two thoughts. One, which I am very fond of saying, can we create a system where a person purchases a house the way he does TV and refrigerator, knowing energy efficiency in some star system without getting into nitty-gritties. That is a system we need to develop about the building material, about the constructed spaces, everything. So if I go to a particular apartment searching for a house, I should be knowing a well certified whether it is 4-star, energy efficient and resource efficient, or it is 3-star, it is 5-star. What is the meaning of 4-star, 3-star, 5-star may keep on changing every year, does not matter. But the individual needs to know this much. He does not need to be an expert in building construction technology. That is one thing. Second, as a stakeholder in building construction sector, we not only have to think about the skill, we also need to think about the practice of construction. What practices are we following? And we should be promoting those technologies and practices which are sustainable. Like, if someone tells me this wall material will provide a good insulation, very good. But am I interested in insulation first of all? I may be interested in more in circulation of air. Like in month of March or February in Delhi, why should I be needing air conditioner? It should never happen in any building that when I get out of that building, I feel much better to breathe. All said and done, morning, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, even till 15th March in Delhi, outside air is much cooler, much comfortable than inside. So, this insulation part may not be my primary objective while constructing buildings, and more so in residential part. Rather than more than 6 to 7 months in most of the cities in India, and in some cities even 8 months, 10 months also, I may be able to, if there is a good circulation and good windows, better directions for sunlight, I may be able to run without AC, and I should be able to do that. In my village, I remember we never needed cooler or even fan many times, not much, just 30 years back. But now almost all houses are pakka, quote unquote. Why I am saying quote unquote, I will come further. Why all houses are pakka, but you cannot sit inside without fan or something, even in most temperate weather. When we talk about Pakka, what is our thought? Pakka house is something which is durable. Pakka house need not be concrete. That is number one. Pakka house need not be even brick based. If I am building a G+1 house, and in most of the Tier 3, Tier 4 cities, 80% of the built residential space is G+1, maximum G+2. Do I need a foundation or a concrete columns which can take load of 5 story? And this is my open invitation to you. Go and see many such buildings where the person who is suggesting how to go about the house construction to the individual, he is suggesting sir foundation ठीक करा लीजिए, कल को आपको 2 फ्लोर एक्स्ट्रा भी बनाना होगा तो प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. Very true, but maybe after 25 years, maybe after 30 years, do I need to put in so much effort, and should anyone put in so much effort? So this is one part where we should also be discussing. Technology improvement should take place. Speed, resource efficiency, both being the pillars of this technology upgradation, not one. Two, we should be empowering our own consumers of this building sector, be it office space, be it residential space. They should be knowing about active and passive design elements. We should be having, as academia, as industry, we should be developing easy tick kind of questions where anyone who is going to purchase something, he should be knowing, okay, how much important it is for me to have this architectural feature or this structural feature. Should I go for concrete or not? There is certainly पक्का घर बनवा रहे हैं 50 साल के लिए तो बनवाएंगे, ये नया मटेरियल आया है पता नहीं अभी तो 10 साल से ही चल रहा है. How do I know ये 50 साल चलेगा? That's a good trust factor that pushes everyone towards what is easily marketed, what is easily available. But we need to align 3 things: technology upgradation, economy and trust in this sector. And we are, all of us involved, whether we architects, whether we technology providers, whether real estate developers or government, we are the stakeholders who are deciding, taking this decision for the consumer. So we have to be aware of this and we have to be very much conscious of the decision we take for the whole society. These are my basic thoughts when I talk about construction technology. On top of that, I would like to point out again, even at cost of repetition, one good part is, in next 25 years, we estimate that our urban population is going to double approximately. 2, we will be needing more buildings than we have right now. And there is a study, India is urbanizing. India will have close to 94 urban population by 2050. Whether you want it, whether you like it, whether you do something or not. So that is bottom line. Urban population is going to be 85 to 90 crores by 2050. And rural population is going to stay. We need more buildings than we have today to be constructed in next 25 years, more so in affordable housing segment. Considering that, this is the biggest opportunity. Either we do the right thing or we end up doing the wrong thing and getting blamed after 20 years, 30 years, when our next generation says, this generation did something wrong, and what Sanjay ji said, getting locked up with the wrong practices, wrong policies.
rock technologies. We need thermal comfort, we need good air circulation, we need less pollution, and we need durability of the buildings. It's my own worry is it shouldn't be the case that first we invite lifestyle diseases by not doing any physical activity, then take medicine, and doctors advise that you should walk for at least 3-4 kilometers in the evening. Even if you cannot, you should use maybe in house only treadmill, etc. That is exactly what happens when we forget the basics. Doctor says, सर आप पानी कम पी रहे हैं, थोड़ा ज़्यादा पी। सर आप चल कम रहे हैं, थोड़ा ज़्यादा चलिए। So we were made to do that in the beginning itself. We are supposed to walk. We are supposed to ourselves know what is water. They are not supposed to drink carbonated water or sugary water. Same way, house is a place where you can be comfortable ergonomically, thermally, and as stakeholders, as trustees of this ecosystem, housing ecosystem, all of us have this responsibility on us that even the customers, consumers who do not know technology, who do not know about construction, they are provided with a good option where they can exercise. So those are my thoughts, and thank you very much. I wish you best of luck for these 2 days. Let's improve the technology, that too be with a vision, with sustainability and unity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking us through. Thank you, all the dignitaries. Thank you, lovely audience. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. So we are taking a short tea break for about 10 to 15 minutes, and we shall be reassembling here for the next technical session 1. And can I please request those who have not done your registrations, they can do now. Also, all the speakers, kindly submit your presentations during the tea break for the technical session 1. Thank you so much and see you.